getting feedback early. In terms of Module B, again, like module-specific advice for Module B, it's a critical study or a close study. You're only looking at one text. Know the context really well. Know the form of the text really well. Research the form, the style, the genre of the text, and think about why that's important. Make notes on that based on your research there. And then also understand some different critical perspectives on the text. Now, when I say critical perspectives, this is mainly for the advanced students here. If you're considering critical perspectives, what I'm talking about is a feminist perspective. What would a feminist perspective say about the text or say about this part of the text? Because you need to be able to appreciate different perspectives. A feminist perspective, okay? A psychoanalytic perspective. Someone who looks at the text through a deeply psychological lens. People interpret texts through different lenses, okay? And you can actually categorize those different interpretations. And that's what critical literature is about, critical perspectives. That's what it's about. Okay, a feminist might interpret this scene as this, whereas someone who is looking at it from a more psychological perspective might interpret it as that. So you get different perspectives there. Maybe it's a post-colonial perspective. Post-colonial perspective means we are basically challenging, and we're challenging and kind of criticizing all of the motivations behind colonialism. Everyone who came to these different countries, like people who came to Australia and took over the land, right? Think about all the destruction that caused and how discriminatory we were towards the natives, right? So you need to consider those perspectives, and a post-colonial perspective would interpret things differently to someone from a different time who was looking at the text. So in terms of having a few of those critical perspectives for Module B, feminist perspective is useful, okay? A psychoanalytic perspective, you can look that up. That's another perspective. Post-colonial perspective. And then another very prominent one, especially for Artist of the Floating World and other texts, is a postmodern perspective. A postmodern perspective is a perspective that basically is challenging the objectivity of truth. They're saying that there must be, that it's impossible to find any one truth associated with something. It's basically saying it's invalidating any perspective which says this is the only truth, okay? They're saying there's a multiplicity of truths. You can always take different interpretations away from things, and there's no one meaning behind anything. That's a postmodern perspective. They actually challenge all the traditional structures. You'll often see very experimental and fragmented features in a postmodern piece of writing. So the text itself might have postmodern elements, and then you can also consider the postmodern interpretation of that text.